Melissa.
And I'm Mike.
Welcome back to the A&M podcast.
We are now officially in the Christmas season.
We are. I have a Christmas shirt on, Santa's favorite.
I have
You're
not Christmas.
not.
It's green, so it kind
You
of
didn't
works.
get the memo.
No.
And as I was getting ready, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me find something Christmassy because I was like, of
Sorry.
course he's going to have his Christmas sweater on.
No, not today. We're recording this a little behind the scenes. We're recording this on Sunday, and as we all know, Sunday is for football.
Yeah. So.
And church. It's also for church, but mostly for church and then football.
So yeah, my Sundays are for sleeping. But here I am.
Here you
I
are.
am. Oh, and yeah, so we have our new background.
Yeah.
Merry
The
Christmas.
temporary holiday background, so Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
So today I thought it would be fun since we are into the Christmas season, to talk about like the origins of some Christmas traditions, some of the things that we just do. Like it's just, hey, Christmas is here. Let's go get a tree and put it up in the house, and you go like, wait, where did that come from? Why did why did people start putting trees inside their house like
Because
that?
they look nice.
I always, yeah, well that.
They
but
smell nice.
I always think though, like our animals, like when when like now we get artificial trees, which may make it even worse. But back in the days when we would go and get like a live tree and cut it down, and bring it in the house and stick it on a thing and put lights on it. If our animals like look at that and they go like, what?
What's happening?
I think they lost their mind. We're in danger of not having food anymore because they've lost their minds. They've fully lost their minds. They went and decided to cut down a tree and bring it inside the house.
I also like the transition of like the real trees. People were like, this is kind of a like hassle.
Yeah.
So it eventually just got moved into like, let's make realistic fake looking versions of it.
Yeah, like
so we could still have the tree in the house without.
Yeah. Also the expense, because live trees, and I love live
true.
trees. Like there's something about that having that live tree in the house, but it's so inconvenient. The smell of the pine and that, which you can now get from candles. It smells like pine in here right now.
Or they have the little sticks
Yeah, I like those too.
that you hang in the tree.
Hang it on the tree, and you really trick the animals. No.
Here's all about.
Yeah.
Or the ones like you have over there where it has the look of fake snow
the
inside.
flocked trees. Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah,
that's always a funny one.
Yeah, because that would melt if that was real. But
That was pretty.
Yeah, I like that one. I like we officially have 1, 2, 3, 4 Christmas trees in the house, and 2 Christmas trees outside. Yeah, because we have that one, we have that one, we have one in the main room, and we have the one in our bedroom.
And then you have the 2 outside. That's not even counting all the tiny ones you have all over here.
There's little Christmas trees everywhere. So, so it turns out that I guess Christmas trees originated in Germany, which I think a lot of people know. But it was during the 16th century. Devout Christians brought decorated trees into their homes, and they would often decorate them with candles, which sounds insane.
So dangerous.
Trees are flammable.
I've seen photos of that though.
Yeah, and I feel like even more, like much more recently, they used to do that because, newsflash, they didn't always have the nice little mini lights that you could hang on.
How did that work? How do you make?
So, I think you had to have sturdy branches, and you had some kind of candle holder that would have gone on the branch.
And then someone said,
Yeah.
Let's light it on fire.
Yeah. Well, and I have to imagine, like, back in that day, like, how many houses burned down at this time of the year because people lit the candles, and, like, how long did it take before they realized this is not a good idea?
Yeah, because they say that even when you have a real tree in your house, you need to make sure it's in the stand, that's getting properly watered. Actually, they were saying on the news the other day even that you have to, like, cut the trunk, I think so many inches up, and then immediately put it in water so that it absorbs water and it doesn't get dry.
Yeah, because if the sap, like, dries up, then it can't soak in any water. So Yeah.
The thing is, I doubt that they were doing that protocol back there when they were also putting the candles on the tree. So they had a very dry
Yeah,
tree
that's true. Well,
with
unless,
candles.
so I'm wondering if back then when they did it, did they not cut the tree down to bring it in? Did they like dig it up and have it in some kind of like a pot or something so it was still
True.
alive? If it was still alive, then maybe not quite, it's still dangerous, but not quite as dangerous.
That's
But
crazy.
unfortunately, my fun facts don't
Get
give
that.
me that level of information. It does say that Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, introduced the Christmas tree tradition to England in the 1840s, and it
Mm.
spread to America as a result of it being in England.
Oh yeah, because we love a trend over
Oh
here.
yeah, we're they didn't have TikTok back then, so
Right.
it wasn't like the that crazy, what was it? Was it the Home Depot tree that everybody was going crazy for?
Is still going
Is
crazy
still going
for.
crazy for? Yeah,
But you know
that's
what? Like my tree, I made it kind of, I like try to look like the Home Depot tree. Like I bought, I have obviously regular lights on it, but then I also have, I bought a string of the twinkle lights for my tree. So, you know, now I now I have the look of the Home Depot
that's
tree. But when I see the real Home Depot tree, I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, that's not what
yeah,
mine looks like.
yeah. That's so we have a tree in this room that's the pencil tree, and I could probably flip the camera around, but I'm not going to do that.
True.
But but it had it. We've had it for a few years, and it had it was pre lit, but it had incandescent lights on it, and the couple of the strings in it like died. They just when those start to go, it's just like it's not even worth trying to recover them. To try to change the bulbs or that. So we got twinkle lights that are LED ones, which are much more energy efficient,
Mhm.
for that tree, and I put them on that tree, and that tree now looks so that would be a TikTok tree if I like I don't know how that would happen, but it would be.
That is
I
no,
don't
that
even
is a
I don't
really
even know
pretty
what
one.
that means.
I have to
Um,
decorate mine because I just have the lights on it still. I gotta put some ornaments because sometimes I like how it looks without the ornaments, but
right.
then I look at yours over there with the ornaments.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah. I like it.
wonder when they actually started like putting ornaments and
I don't
stuff
know
on
because
it.
this says that, like I said, it said that devout Christians brought decorated trees into the homes, and that was in the 16th century. So they've been doing it
Hmm.
all along. I had read some things yesterday. I was looking at some stuff on this topic, and I had
Mhm.
read some things that said like part of that tradition, even though like it says devout Christians in the 16th century did it.
Mhm.
It said that it actually came from like the pagan religion,
Mhm.
and it was something that they did. So like part of it may also come from that. The modern version of it, I guess, though, is credited to Germany from the 16th century. So
Mhm.
another thing I mentioned, like this is kind of off topic. Excuse me. Yeah, kind of off topic, but not. I'd mentioned like the incandescents versus the LED bulbs,
Mhm.
and like it's only within the past I don't know maybe what 10 years I guess that you could get like LED lighting for your tree. Um, we have two little candles in the front window,
Oh yeah.
and they're just like those little I think they're the ones that come on at dusk and go will stay on till dawn, but
Mhm.
they one of the bulbs went in it, so I went to the store to look for new ones, and I was like, and I sometimes with those kind of bulbs, especially, I don't like the lighting from the LEDs, even though the lighting from LEDs has gotten a lot better because with the whites you can find there's the whole range of whites from the cool white, which is more the blue
Yeah.
one, to the warm white, which is more like traditional incandescent lighting. And so we got two of the LED ones, and then we bought two of the incandescent ones in case we didn't like the lighting. But on the package, it tells you the expected energy use
Mhm.
for the bulb, and these are the little tiny candle bulbs,
Mhm.
and the expected energy use on the LEDs was 7 cents a year. So basically, and I think that's based on like normal hours that you would have it on during the day and that kind of thing. It's like
Mhm.
an estimated average.
Mhm.
The the estimated use on the incandescents was actually $1.18 a year. So the
What? Like,
difference,
wait, but how much is that you running it? Like, if you leave
well,
it
that
on for what?
I mean, but I don't know. I don't know how many hours they consider that you're going to run it, but they're both based on the same number of hours. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So the difference in cost to run the LED is like so much less. It's
Mhm.
like less than 10% of the cost of running the incandescent bulbs, which is just, that probably is true. But my thinking was that probably is true across the board from incandescents to LEDs. So like if you're lighting your tree with incandescents versus LEDs, you're spending a lot more on your electric bill. So
That's good to know,
un,
anyways,
un,
because like LED light wise, if you think about it, uh, there's sometimes when I'll leave my tree lit the whole day.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
so
yeah.
because you
Depending, yeah,
have
certain times of the year and that kind of thing.
yeah, so because you have things like that lit the whole
Yeah.
time, it's kind of good
Oh
to
yeah.
know
I mean,
that.
I remember like way back, before the LEDs existed, when we would light the
Mhm.
house, like the
Oh
outside and
yeah.
everything with incandescents, we would see a noticeable tick in the electric bill. But like you just plan on your electric bill for December was going to be high
Yeah.
because of all the extra electric use with the lights. And now it doesn't even
Like you don't notice a
yeah,
big
and
difference. Yeah.
we have if we don't have all LEDs, most of our lighting at this point is LED. So,
Mhm.
moving on.
You know what?
What?
Not to not move on,
No,
but
that's fine.
you talking about the candles in the window, I think that's like also an older tradition from
Yeah.
back when they were also putting the candles on the tree.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think
Probably.
that's like things that I've seen
Probably,
in
and
pictures.
that's something that, like, at least around where we are, people don't like. We used to. There was a time where we had those in all our windows year round, just as kind of a nice
Mhm.
little, kind of
Yeah.
mood thing, And I don't think a lot of people do that anymore. Maybe that kind of isn't in so much, but we still do it around Christmas,
Oh,
just
it's very 90s,
because
but
it
I
makes,
like it.
yeah, that's exactly
But
it.
I
It's
think some of
very
those decorations from the 90s are kind of coming back a
coming
little
back
bit.
around. Yeah. So the next one is Santa Claus, and my information here anyway tells me that he was based on Saint Nicholas, which again is kind of common knowledge, I guess.
Old Saint Nick.
But Saint Nick was a fourth century bishop known for generosity and gift giving, particularly to children. So there we are. That's where the Santa Claus tradition comes from.
Mhm.
I thought this one was kind of interesting. It says that the Dutch brought the tradition to America, and they called him Sinterklaas, which kind of to me sounded, if you watched or you listened to our incoherent game time episode a little while back, I said that sounds like that would be the incoherent game version of Santa Claus. So Sinterklaas.
Sinterklaas.
Um, and the modern version of Santa is actually based on a 19th century illustration from Thomas Nast and Coca-Cola advertising from the 1930s, which you'll still see a lot of that style, that
Yeah.
1930s style of Coke advertising, showing Santa Claus.
My little Diet Coke can that I had the other day had Santa on it.
Yeah, yeah. The other interesting thing is a lot of the stuff about Santa Claus too comes from the "Twas the Night Before Christmas" um, story. Like
Mm.
the reindeer. I'm this may be an incorrect fact. No, I'm relatively sure that like the reindeer and the sleigh and all that are things that originated in that story, and now they're just
Mhm.
part of the Santa Claus. Of course, they originated in that story because the author of that book knew
Yeah.
what was going on. He wrote about something he knew about, so that's why he wrote about how Santa uses a sleigh and reindeer.
Because he's real.
Why'd you say it like that?
Santa.
Yeah,
Santa's
I know, but
real.
why did you say it like that? Anyway, so the next one we have some information on here is gift giving, um, and this is interesting. So it says that the idea of gift giving around Christmas goes back to um, the whole nativity and the wise men bringing gifts to the baby Jesus, and that's where the idea of giving people gifts at Christmas, I guess, came from. Which
Oh,
is,
that's
yeah,
nice.
but it makes, if you think about it, they were giving him gifts because it was like his birthday. You know, we're giving each other gifts because it's his birthday.
Because it's his birthday, we're like, oh.
Yeah. This one, it says it's also has its roots in a Roman holiday called Saturnalia, which was I'd read some stuff on this yesterday too. That was like it was like a December holiday that
Mhm.
Romans had before Christianity, in whatever their religion was back then.
Mhm.
It was like a festival that they celebrated then, which they say is part of the reason that we celebrate Christmas when we celebrate it, because it's around that same time. And there were some other pagan holidays, I guess, too, that were around that time. So it was
Mhm.
uh, the way I read it anyway. Like the church was trying to attract people to Christianity, and adding a holiday that kind of shared traditions with their holidays, and was
Mhm.
around the same time, was a way to do that. So that's why, because originally Christmas wasn't a big holiday for Christians celebrating like Jesus's birth. It was Easter, was the main holiday for Christians.
Which is interesting because they make it seem like it's Christmas.
Today it is. I
Yeah.
mean, today it's the bigger holiday, but
Right.
even still in Christianity, like
But
Easter's, the more.
I think even like Christmas, it's the bigger holiday, but I think it's less because of the actual holiday and more just because of like the whole season of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Easter kind of gets intertwined with spring and like,
right,
it's more just kind of like a quick little day, but I think that's also, it's every Sunday,
right.
or not every Sunday, but
Every
every
Sunday.
year it's on
Yeah,
Sunday.
right.
And it's just like a different vibe, whereas Christmas, a lot of people, besides the whole meaning of Christmas, people just get excited for the whole season.
Right. There's also a lot of people that celebrate what I would call like less of a religious Christmas and more of like a
Yeah.
secular Christmas. Like
Yeah.
there are people who probably aren't even Christian who celebrate Christmas as a
Mhm.
time to give gifts and that kind of thing,
Yeah, for
which is
sure.
it's a good thing. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not poo-pooing on that. I think
No,
that's
for sure.
wonderful. So how about this one? Christmas stockings uh, also come from Saint Nicholas. He's said to have dropped gold coins down the chimney, landing in stockings hung by the fireplace to dry.
Wow.
I think that now I wonder, is that factual based, like because Saint Nicholas was a person, or
Do you think
is
he
that like
actually was
you know
dropping
like
coins down the chimney?
like in the what's the cartoon, the which one is it? Santa Claus is coming to town,
Mm,
where he's having to sneak down the chimneys to put toys in their stockings because what is the guy, the
I don't think I
I
ever
can't
saw
think of.
that one.
Yeah, you've seen that one. I can't think of his name. The Burgermeister. The Burgermeister
Oh,
Meisterburger won't
yeah, I have
won't
seen
let him.
that.
They want to arrest him for giving toys out, and he had to go down the stocking or go down the chimneys and leave them in the stocking. So it's either this version based on Saint Nicholas, or the
That's an
version
old
based on
cartoon.
Santa Claus
The
is coming to town. So
Burgermeister.
I kind of like the Santa Claus is coming to town version better. Santa was an outlaw.
Also, shout out to him for dropping the coins down the chimney and then perfectly aiming
I know,
for the
right? Like that's
stockings.
that seems like that's almost like a drinking game right there. Like, yeah, that's because if you think about it, like you drop them down the fireplace, if they're hanging on the mantle,
Yeah.
like you got to bounce those or something to get them.
And then also imagine the confusion, like you hang your stockings up to dry near the fire the night
You
before.
go to put your
You
toe
go
in.
to put your stockings on the next day, like,
Why is there a
why
gold
are there
coin in here? I
gold
mean, thank
coins
you,
in
but
here?
I wasn't expecting that.
I didn't put this in here.
Um, this also has some information about the Yule, which is the Yule log,
Hmm.
and I'd read some stuff on this yesterday too,
Ugh,
which is
love a
was
Yule
kind of
log.
interesting. Yeah. Um, but this also mentions about again some of the traditions being based in pagan traditions, or um, but it says that let's see, the pagan Yule festival celebrated during the winter solstice, which I guess that was their like Christmas time festival, was the Yule festival,
Hmm.
and the Yule log, mistletoe, and even the timing of the holidays comes from these older traditions. And the thing I'd read talked about the Yule being like they would go out in the woods and they would find the biggest tree they could find, and
Hmm.
they'd bring it back and they'd light it on fire, and they would keep eating until the fire went out.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a
Yeah,
fun
it
game
was so
too.
the festival basically went, and it went on for weeks, I guess. That that's how big these logs were. until that log stopped burning, they would continue to celebrate and eat. And I guess they said the timing of it was based on like it was the time of the year when it was colder first of all, so a lot of like the farming and that kind of thing that they would do like
Mm.
wasn't going on. So it was good timing because they were able to be more, what's the word, like be a little bit more celebratory without having to deal with the ramifications of, okay, now we got to go up and and work at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's why the timing is what it is. And plus they I guess because they had already been through harvest, they had plenty of food and all that kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting though, that
That's like
the whole
me
Yule
once
thing.
December starts. You know.
Just I just want to sit in the house and eat. Is that?
We don't have as much work to do, kind of.
Yeah.
In theory.
Well, now here's another interesting one for you. So caroling, Christmas caroling, we call it Christmas caroling now, right? It was originally called wassailing.
Sounds
Car-
worse. Sounds like bad singing.
but did you ever hear? There's like two versions of the song. Here we come a caroling. Here we come a wassailing. Did you ever hear?
No.
No. Look it up. Google it.
Okay.
Um, but it began as a pagan practice again,
Mm.
um, of singing to honor nature spirits during the solstice. So well, again, a lot of that we picked up from there, which is interesting. By the Middle
Mm.
Ages, it evolved into Christian hymns sung to celebrate the Nativity, which is how it how it
Door to
happens
door
today.
to door.
Yeah,
You should start that tradition in your neighborhood. I
I
feel like your
should.
neighborhood's a good
You know,
caroling
so
neighborhood.
when we were kids, ooh, back in the 1400s, um, we did that a couple times. We did go door to door and
You did
do
caroling?
yeah, like me and
What?
my yeah,
That is so
me
funny. What did you
and the
wear?
rest of the yeah, I don't remember. It
Like
was
a
in Pennsylvania, so we were probably just cold, so we
Was
probably
it like a
wore.
typical caroling outfit or was it just
No,
like
no, we
snow
didn't get those
jacket?
like 1800s or 1700s English outfits or anything. No, we would just walk. We were a
The
bunch
girl
of
sitting there with
bunch of
the fuzzy like
little kids. But
thing.
if did you ever hear the what's the song where they say now bring us some figgy
Oh
pudding?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like but I never demanded figgy pudding, and I
Classic
should have.
caroling
But
song.
but if you think about it, like so you think of trick or treating, right? Trick
Hmm.
or treating, you just go door to door dressed in a funny outfit, and you're like, give me candy.
Yeah.
If somebody comes to your door caroling, I feel like you should have like something for. You should have like some candy or cocoa or
No,
no.
because I'm choosing to participate in handing out candy to trick-or-treaters. If I don't want you there, I just turn my light off.
Oh, that's true.
I feel like caroling is a lot more like
Yeah,
what's that thing where people start dancing in the middle of the street or like
yeah.
sing, what is that called?
Are you talking about like flash mob?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It like caroling is giving like flash mob
yeah,
vibes.
yeah. That's true. Like you're just home and you answered your door, um,
Yeah.
and you're not necessarily choosing to like I wonder how many times with carolers though. How many times does it happen where they go up to a door and the person opens the door and they start singing and the person closes the door?
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
because I remember us doing it as a kid, but I don't remember much about people's reactions.
I was gonna say, were people like opening the door with smiles on their face, like,
Yeah. Well, we were little kids, so they might have been like, "Oh, look how cute this is,"
that
or they
is
might have been like,
funny.
That's a good thing now about like you have
Good and
a
bad.
doorbell camera,
Oh
like you
yeah.
can look and go, no, I know.
I'm
If
not dealing with
if I
that
looked out,
today.
no offense to anyone, but if I looked out and there were people dressed in old English garb with like holding sheet music, I would be like, I'm not answering the door.
Not answering that.
No.
I don't
As much
answer
as
for anyone
I
anyway.
love listening. Here's what I don't understand about it. I love listening to Christmas music. Like if they came
Same.
here, it would be likely that there would be Christmas music playing in the
Right.
house,
Right.
and they'd probably think, "Oh, this is a great house. These
Yeah.
people are gonna love us."
Target
But
audience.
yeah, it's the awkwardness of like just me standing there with people singing to me. That's
Even packages that I order that I'm excited about coming, I
yeah.
still don't want to answer the door
Door
to
yeah.
like I
Even
still leave it
even
outside. I'll
even
get it.
DoorDash when I'm hungry.
Yeah,
Even
DoorDash it.
DoorDash when I'm
Leave
hungry.
it outside. I'm gonna come get
Yeah,
it. I'm not
yeah.
meeting you there.
Yeah,
Like,
and I wait till the car backs out of the driveway.
yeah, like
It's like,
I'll wait
They
a minute or two till
are they
you're
still there?
gone.
They're still there. Come on, what's taking so
Let
long?
alone because also I feel like it's really hard to sometimes control your expressions. So if somebody's coming to the door singing,
Right.
I mean I don't what do you do? Do
What
you
if
just sit
there's
there listening? Do you
okay?
sing along?
What if your DoorDash driver? You're really hungry. Your DoorDash driver comes. They
Mhm.
stand out there. They ring the doorbell and stand out there with your food. They're not going to leave until you open the door,
Yeah.
and then they start singing. What do you do?
And they say like you can get your food after I'm done singing.
Yeah, yeah, like they won't give you the food. It's like the opposite of give me some figgy pudding. It's
Yeah.
I'm not giving you your food until I finish my Christmas song, and at that point, then you can have lunch.
That's funny.
So another one that, and I read up on this a little bit yesterday, was the date when we sell, and I talked about this before a little bit, but the date of when we celebrate Christmas, because on December 25th, because the Bible doesn't say when Jesus was born, so we don't really know.
Mhm.
But the theory is that they chose that date because it coincided with the date of that Roman Saturnalia. I think it is Saturnalia. It was a festival for, I think, Saturn. So
Oh.
yeah. So when they were trying to get that incorporated, I think they picked that date because it was like, hey,
Mhm.
our holiday's on the same day. Let's celebrate together.
Mhm.
Um, and I read something else that said that it's likely like Jesus wasn't born um, in December because the stories in the Bible talk about the shepherds being in the field with their sheep. So
Mhm.
that wouldn't be happening, I guess, in the middle of December. So
Mhm.
yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Hmm.
So any other fun facts about Christmas that you have that you want to share with us?
That you want to share with the class?
That
No,
you
I
want to
don't think.
share with the you don't
I don't. I don't. I
any
knew.
other things you're curious about, like where they came from though? Like there's a lot of like a lot of things related to like the one
Probably
I
like decorating outside your
yeah,
house and going all out
yeah,
like that. But I think that just kind of was something probably that evolved from people decorating their tree, and then they probably started decorating the rest of the inside of their house with things, and and then it just kind of like
yeah,
transpired to decorating the outside of your house.
yeah. That would be a good guess.
Because they even now they have, decorations for all of the holidays during
So
December.
here's some interesting facts. I'm heavily depending on Chat GPT for some of this
Oh
stuff.
my
So, yeah,
goodness.
I have to admit I'm not. I did, like I said, I did do some research last night and I read up on this a little bit, but
ChatGPT,
yeah.
not sponsored.
It says that like decorating your house originated in
Mhm.
during the Middle Ages. Europeans used evergreens, holly, and ivy to decorate the
Mhm.
outside of homes, symbolizing eternal life and protecting against evil spirits. Didn't
There you
know that
go.
happened. I didn't know that worked. And candles and windows became popular in
Oh,
Protestant
see?
regions. See, signaling a family's faith and inviting travelers to find shelter. Oh, I'm taking those candles out now. I'm not inviting anybody to find shelter in my house. What's wrong?
Mm, mm.
Something going on?
Just said Bluetooth disconnected.
Hmm.
Bluetooth connected.
I don't know what Bluetooth is. Well, I'm concerned now. Please ignore that.
Still a new
Um,
podcast.
yeah, I might have to edit that out. I don't. We'll see. Um, electric Christmas lights in 1882. How about that? Edward H.
Oh
Johnson, an
wow.
associate of Thomas Edison, created the first string of electric Christmas lights and displayed them on a tree visible through his window. 1882.
Wow, that's
That's
pretty crazy.
wild. See.
The
That's why I
first
like doing this
string of
stuff, though. Like
Christmas lights is,
I never knew that.
yeah, that's a long time ago.
And it says by the 1920s, outdoor lighting displays became more common as electric lights became safer. Yeah, because I can't
Mm,
imagine those first 1882 electric Christmas lights were safe.
I
Um,
can't imagine that at
so,
all.
so related to that, I was hanging lights on the tree out front here,
Hmm.
and I had two different colored Christmas lights. Two different. They're red and white Christmas lights, but I had
Hmm.
two different colored strings. Like the white on the one string was a little different, and it didn't.
Oh
It
yeah.
wasn't enough different that it bothered me, so I'm just using them. And then I realized why, because one of the or two of the strings really were incandescent, and the rest of them were LED. And
Mm.
the way I realized it was the incandescent string. I had plugged them in. I'm wrapping them around the tree, and I get to a point and I get a shock all of a sudden, and I realized that one of the bulbs, the glass had broken off the bulb, and the wires were just hanging out there. So
Oh my gosh, I have these.
those incandescent lights will get you every time.
I have the which I didn't. I feel like so many of the lights that I see out now are LED string lights, but
Yeah, they still selling. Ooh,
the
what
incandescent ones.
yeah, they still sell the incandescent ones.
But I have these. I have those C9 bulbs.
Yeah,
The
the old school big light
old
bulbs.
school, like they're green and red, green, red, green, red. And I took them out of my Christmas bin, and I was like, "Oh, these are so pretty." And then when I'm messing with them, I realized that they're glass bulbs.
Oh, so
The ones
those
hanging.
are old school. They're the real,
Yeah,
because
they're
I have the
glass.
ones that I have hung out back, that they're
Mhm.
the ones I used to hang on the roof. Um, and those, they look exactly like the glass C9s. They're shiny
Mhm.
in that, and they look like the C9s, but they're LED with like a little plastic fake,
Mhm.
thing over it. That they're very realistic looking, but they're definitely not glass.
And I have some plastic ones. Honestly, I found those after. I wish I hung those more because hanging up, stringing some glass bulb lights
Yeah.
outside is stressful because
Yeah.
usually the glass on those is so thin that like
Mm-hmm.
the slightest like tap.
Oh yeah. And finding those today too can't be easy.
Oh yeah,
Finding the
like a
replacements.
replacement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's
That was
ugh.
stressful. But they look beautiful and they're so bright and
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, those kind. I just like those kind, like the ones that we have out back that are the fake ones even. I just like the look of that. It looks so classic.
Mhm.
Um let's
So
see.
the gift giving, that was an interesting one because that also shows just the meaning of this season when how people do like toy drives
Right.
and
Yeah,
things
more
like that. That
focused on like
also like less about.
yeah, like the what's it called? Wow. The bell ringers, that are
Oh
outside the
yeah,
stores.
that are
Salvation
outside.
Army. That's wow. I couldn't think of it. Salvation Army. Yeah, I love that tradition too. And you're right. It kind of makes sense that it goes back to that. That it's
And then you think of Black Friday, which like,
yeah,
that kind of ruins the moment.
yeah.
I went out Black
People fighting
I went
in
out the night
stores.
of Black Friday to the big Millennium Mall.
Hmm.
Man, I mean that
Oh, it
mall is
must have been
great,
insane.
but
I don't.
parking was insane.
Yeah,
There was so much just I mean,
people everywhere.
what's crazy about that mall though, so that mall has a lot of the high-end stores.
Right.
And just for fun, we were looking in one of the watches, the stores that sell nice watches.
Hmm.
And they had a little Rolex area. And this lady just walked up and she was just like casually buying a Rolex.
Oh, yeah,
And then you see so many people walking around with like big Louis Vuitton bags and
yeah,
like
yeah,
other things. I'm like, man, to just come up in this mall and splurge like that
yeah.
is
Right.
just
That's crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and some of those like high end like watch stores that they have down there too. They have like security guards like
Oh yeah, that's what they
right by
got.
the door. Yeah, you're not
Mm-hmm.
like I don't I don't even like going in those stores because number
Yeah.
one, I'm not buying a high end watch because I'm an
Yeah.
Apple Watch person and that's all I'm ever gonna wear anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and I like nice watches, but I just won't wear them.
Yeah.
So to like spend the insane amounts of money on something that I wouldn't wear is not, makes no
Mm-hmm.
sense. But also, I'm intimidated. Like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to walk in that store and act like I'm going to buy, or and look at things that I'm not going to
Yeah.
buy with a security guard there, because then I feel like when you walk in and you walk out, they're like, yeah, he was just casing the place. He's coming back later.
It's like when you go into just even a simple store like Target and you don't buy anything and you're
Yeah.
still feeling nervous walking
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah. Like they're
I
looking
swear
at
you can
me.
check my pockets. I didn't
Yeah.
buy anything.
Yeah. Like you go in and I feel exactly that way, because if you go in and they don't have what you were looking for and then you're just leaving without anything, yeah, I feel like you look suspicious for
But
some
maybe that's a
reason.
me problem because I'm so used to going in those stores and like buying something
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that one time I don't. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's like you feel
I
like
know, I
I
know,
have
I
to
come in
buy
here.
something. I, isn't there something I need? I have to buy something while I'm here.
Yeah. Then a little bit later, you're $100 deep on
Yeah,
2 bags.
that's true. It's funny because I think of like, you know, I think of the Christmas traditions like today, or not the traditions, but the way people, humans, treat Christmas today versus like when I was a kid, or probably when any of your grandparents was a kid. And
Hmm.
you know, and people talk about it all the time. It's gotten so much more commercial, uh, and it would be nice if it was simpler, I think.
Yeah.
I say this as somebody who has 4 Christmas trees in their house, so
And a big
I need
Merry
to,
Christmas sign
yeah,
behind
and a giant
us.
Merry Christmas
I
sign.
wish things were just more
I
simple.
just wish it was simpler. Giant metal Christmas, Merry Christmas sign. So,
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I don't
yeah.
know. I
I
think,
guess it's what you make of it too, you know? Like it's
yeah,
what you make of your traditions, you know?
yeah, exactly. I think some people, you're right that sometimes things kind of, people do get kind of lost in the like, you
Yeah.
know, I didn't go out Friday night to participate in Black Friday shopping. I just wanted to like get in the spirit, and it's
Yeah.
fun like being in that environment sometimes.
Yeah, true.
But
That's true. Being out in the hustle and bustle and all
in the
that.
hustle and bustle,
Yeah.
I don't have to buy anything. We were just walking around,
Right.
and they got the big tree up in the mall and
Right.
stuff. But I think that yeah, I don't know. The season is the fun part of it, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's good to be a little extra because it makes it, it's different than the rest of the
Rest
time
of
of
the
year.
time. Yeah. And I also think like again, I go back to when we lived up north. Like after Christmas, it was just kind of like winter, and it was
Yeah.
depressing. And down here, it's not so much that way. So, got to enjoy it while we can enjoy it, no matter where you are, I guess.
I feel like in Florida we go a little bit more extra with it because we don't have, the snow and
Right.
all that stuff.
Not battling the cold weather to do any of that. Yeah, that's also true. We were talking about that this morning. That when it's cold and ugly, you just don't feel like doing anything. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Like here, pretty much from now until the end of the year, there's, so many things going on every weekend that
Yep.
are Christmas
Oh yeah.
focused and
Every little town has some kind of a Christmas festival or something going on, which is
mhm.
lots of fun. Yep. All
Mhm.
right. Well, I guess that's it for this one. I hope you learned something maybe, or you enjoyed what we told you. And
Stay tuned for game time on Thursday.
yeah, Christmas themed, right? It's gonna be Christmas themed
It's
game time
Christmas themed until,
until
January
yeah, or maybe later. Who
or
knows?
maybe later.
Maybe we'll do like the Hallmark Channel and just make it completely Christmas themed all the time. I think I'm joking. All right.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.